All right, it's that time to take a look at the stories in the papers, stories making the headlines, having each and every one of us talking. This is Freshly Pressed on the Smooth Breakfast on Smooth 98.1, where you love music, love live station. It is an Easter Monday morning, 31 minutes past 7 a.m. on the 21st day in the month of April 2025. Great to have you join us this morning as we walk you through the headlines. Analysis will follow as well as your comments, your contributions, your thoughts on the issues. So come one and come all and share those thoughts with us on WhatsApp. The number remains 0809 444 0981 0809 444 0981. That is the WhatsApp number. You can also leave a comment for us on YouTube. We're streaming live. Yes, we are at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Those are the ways you can be a part of Freshly Pressed this Monday morning. Joining me to take a look at the stories and give their analysis as well, Mr. C and of course AB Bozimo are with me on an Easter Monday morning. Good morning to you, gentlemen.
Good morning, Sir Ayo. Happy Easter to you. Good morning, Mr. C, and good morning to our lovely, resting, regular listeners from all over the world. Happy Easter to you all.
Good morning, AB. Good morning, Nayon. Good morning, Lagos. Good morning to all our wonderful listeners. Happy Easter holidays.
Indeed, happy Easter to you as well. And of course, thank you for taking the time out, even on holiday morning, to be here with me. Of course, a lot of issues that we need to get into, sink our teeth into, and make a whole lot of sense of, because a lot of things are happening all over the place. We'll begin, Mr. C, this morning. Talking about where do we begin? Let us start our journey this morning with syrup. I want to start with syrup this morning. Usually we talk about syrup, in a certain way, but they have, should I say, sued the NBC. Now, this is coming out of the Vanguard. The Socioeconomic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has filed a lawsuit against the National Broadcasting Commission, the NBC, over the ban on Idris Abdul Karim's song, Tell Your Papa. Now, the song, which allegedly criticized President Bola Tinubu's economic policies, was prohibited from radio and TV broadcast over its objectionable nature. Now, according to the NBC, the ban is arbitrary, illegal, and unconstitutional. Mr. C, we give SERAP a lot of kudos for the work that they do, taking up a number of different issues and all that. Are they in the ballpark on this one, or have they slightly missed the mark? What are your thoughts?
Okay, so thank you, Ayon. So to answer your question directly, they haven't missed the ball on this one. They're right on target. Now I'm going to explain why. Now the NBC over the past say 20, 25 years has consistently missed the mark. It's supposed to be an independent regulator that regulates the media space, regulates the broadcasting space in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution. But what we've continued to see over, say, the past 20 to 25 years is that the NBC rather regulates with regards to the wishes and interests of whichever government is in power or whichever party is in power. And sadly, this is not only improper, it doesn't conform with international best practices. Now, remember I think it was the last administration, they purportedly passed an amended Broadcasting Act or regulations, which grossly flouted the provisions of the 1999 Constitution. And that action was challenged, and the said regulations where they contravened the Constitution was set down and declared to be null and void. So here we are, right? A song has been given, and you allege that it's against public decency. Slowly but steadily, we're sliding into a state of dictatorship, of one-party rule. Now, the truth of the matter is, and I'm speaking to the followers of this administration, the fans and acolytes of the president, if everything was going on well and things were fantastic, nobody would complain. So this tired narrative of, oh, they don't like him or they don't like where he's from, it simply doesn't cut it anymore. It's not about where he's. Nigerians really don't care where you're from. Provided you do your job and you provide value, you'll be liked. So nobody goes to a salon and says, oh, by the way, where are you from? Or you go to a hospital and the first thing you're asking is, okay, who do you support? What party do you support? Or what candidate did you vote for in the last elections? So the truth of the matter is the NBC needs to be up and doing. They need to remember that there's a constitutionally guaranteed right of expression. Now, the song itself, I'm going to be honest, right? And this is another thing they do. It's not part of their mandate under the act that sets them up. But for the past 20, 25 years, they've been promoting songs of artists. Now, what do I mean? An artist releases a song. Many people are not moved or not interested to listen to the song. NBC then bans the song, and everybody's now looking for the song. When they just dropped this song, I didn't look for it. I just noted, okay, he's released another song. Then when the NBC now banned it, I was like, okay, fine. I now want to hear what they banned. And it turns out the song is actually the rhythm is catchy, the hook is catchy, and it begs the question: in everything he said in that song, what is not true? Because again, we have to be very clear. The NBC claims it can incite the public. What section of the public will be incited? I listened to the song, I wasn't incited. He was asking questions. Is it now a crime to ask a question or a series of questions under this administration? Things are so tough. Can we not ask when these difficult times will come to an end? Can we not ask if the leaders are doing enough to get us out of this mess? Can we not ask or interrogate what it is they've done so far? But a situation where the current administration doesn't want to be asked any questions then begs the real issue. Why are you in office? Nobody forced you to run. You voluntarily came out to run. You say the box stops on your table. Then for the love of everything good under the sun, start to deliver. Now, I understand Idris is about to release another song. Is the NBC planning to ban that song too? We can't continue. So you can't beat a child repeatedly and then tell the child, do not cry. Nigerians are in pain. And there is no sign that it's going to end any soon. People are being killed. In the past 2 weeks, over 200 Nigerians have lost their lives. And these are official accounts. And our thoughts go out to their families. And then you have a president who is nowhere to be found. He was supposed to be in Paris for 2 weeks. Then he moved to England. No explanation as to what he's doing in England, or when all we got was he will be back after the Easter holidays. May is after the Easter holidays. June is after the Easter holidays. When exactly is he coming back? Now,
well, Easter holidays. Easter holidays end today officially.
Yes, but when after the Easter holidays is he back? I'm going to contrast this with what happened last year. The Israeli prime minister was in America when the Hamas attacks started. He did not complete what he went to do in the States. He rushed back to Israel. Contrast that with what has happened in Nigeria over the past 2 weeks. And we have to ask ourselves questions as a group of people living together. We're not a nation. Let's not deceive ourselves. Where are we going? So the NBC is right on target. Will the courts give the proper verdict?
I mean, Serap is right on target.
No. So Serap is right on target. Will the courts give the proper verdict? Only time will tell.
Only time will tell. So many things, so many issues, and so many things going on in the country at this time. AB, as Mr. C has alluded to, it has been such a very, very torrid period in Nigeria's history. I mean, in the last 2 weeks, as Mr. C said, over 200 people have actually been killed, which takes us to Benue State right now. And we're taking the story out of the Daily Post, where Governor Hyacinth Alia of Benue State has once again implored residents to remain vigilant and to promptly report any suspicious activity to the appropriate security agencies, declaring that the state is currently under siege. Now, he was speaking on Sunday, that was yesterday, after Mass at the Chapel of Grace Government House in Makurdi. Now, Governor Alia underscored that security is a collective responsibility and urged all residents to actively support efforts aimed at countering the persistent threats. AB, it's such a sad thing, and it seems like we discuss these issues concerning these killings in Nigeria almost every day. At this point, it's become second nature, which in itself is an aberration. But looking at what the governor of Benue State has said, what are your thoughts on this particular matter right now where we are?
Let me first of all start by saying this is the reason why you hire a lawyer. Mr. C made a very good point. Coming back after the Easter holidays does not give us a single date to look forward to. After the Easter holiday is Christmas holiday, possibly. Setting that aside, you now add the fact that, Mr. C, for all your brilliance, you don't seem to know about remote work, which is what the president is doing right now. Putting that also aside, we now come to the fundamental story about the killings. You know, at a point, I began to wonder whether I was getting things mixed up, because it seemed as if every day I would say a snippet of a story about 50 odd people killed. 50 odd. So I went to a Google search and I saw President Tinubu orders. From 2 odd weeks ago, he has been ordering, directing, ordering. And it is clear that his remote work is failing, because as recently as yesterday or so, more people were killed. Now, in this particular story, the governor is having the temerity to tell me that what is going on in his state is akin to Christ suffering on the cross. Excuse me, Mr. Governor Alia, that is a completely inappropriate reference. There is nobody being saved by the murders in Plateau State. According to those who believe, it is because Jesus died that people were saved. Not everybody believes it, but that is according to those who believe. So there is no relationship whatsoever between these murderers and their activities and what Jesus Christ did on the cross. So please withdraw that obtuse statement. Beyond that, to think that people are dying in their 10s, 20s, 50, now 250 odd by the last count, and we never include the injured. At a 1-to-1 ratio, that's 500 people affected. At a 1-to-4 ratio, that's over 1,000 people possibly affected. Some people have injuries that have taken them away from productive living for the rest of their lives. Your eye has been gouged out, your leg has been cut off, etc. So apart from counting the very dead, which is very tragic, we have communities destroyed. And then you always hear government talking about, the president announced about they should stop the tit for tat attacks. I've never heard of a tat in these tick attacks. I didn't hear that people in a village rushed to one settlement of nomadic people and attacked them. It's normally people sleeping at night. These are the stories. I'm not making this up. People were sleeping at night and people came to attack, kill, burn, and pillage them. So let us stop lying in public space about what's going on. There are people who are attacking other people and taking over the land. I put my blame on the Nigerian constitution that prevents us from having proper armed, localized police and militia, because there's no reason why people should just be in victim mode than others who can carry guns seemingly past every checkpoint, where if I'm to go with my USB flash drive, they will ask me for a receipt. People are carrying guns back and forth past the places, having gone to kill and gone back, and they cannot be found. It's unacceptable. And so I'm afraid currently there is an abject failure for the federal government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, currently on remote work in Europe, to keep the lives of Nigerians safe, because it is only the federal government that has the power of military and other security coercion. State governors do not. Yes, I deplore and I despise the nature of what's that thing that they give to governors? Security vote. What does it mean? What does it do? But
Right.
the only people authorized right now, and Mr. C can correct me, to carry arms in Nigeria are federally empowered security forces. No state governor has any power to send anybody. So telling us, if you see something, say something. All the one we have been seeing already, what have they done? I've been seeing corruption, what have they done? I've been seeing banning of songs, what have they done? So this is something is a lazy man's approach by Governor Alia of that state to address a problem that he clearly has no idea about, if he's likening the murderers of his people to Christ's death on the cross.
Mr. C, I mean, AB has said quite a number of things on this particular matter, and we're actually going to continue on this particular trajectory. And he said something very interesting about the fact that talking about people defending themselves and so on and so forth. Now, this also has been echoed by a number of people, especially General T.Y. Danjuma, retired. Now, he once again called on Nigerians to take responsibility for their own safety, warning that the escalating insecurity across the country cannot be resolved by government efforts alone. Now, this is a former military top brass making this particular comment. So, on one hand, you need to make of that what you will. On the other hand, let's head into the punch right now, where Nigeria's security chiefs have been slammed over increasing terror attacks that has resulted in mass killings, especially in the northern part of the country. Now, the security chiefs, according to stakeholders, may have been overwhelmed or treating the problem with kids' gloves. When we talk about our security chiefs, Mr. C, they've been changed more times than probably Man United has changed managers in the last number of years, but it doesn't seem to have made any difference. It just seems to be a change today, a change tomorrow, and nothing ever seems to actually change. Now, is this beyond the security chiefs, or is it just plain incompetence on their part, or a combination of everything together?
Anyway, in every serious organization, let's not talk about serious countries today. In every serious organization, each employee has a set of achievable targets. And if those targets are not achieved within a set period of time, the employee is relieved of his employment. It's simple common sense. It's simple collective reality. There's no rocket science to it. Now, our security chiefs, I'm sorry to say, are not cutting the mustard. Personally, I don't believe they can get the job done. What they specialize in is standing by the foot of the plane as the president is traveling abroad, and then standing by the foot of the plane when he's returning back from wherever it is he's gone to. Anyway, over the past 2 years, let's leave all the other administrations. What have they achieved? There's a new terror group, called Mahmuda. We haven't finished dealing with Lakuara. We haven't finished dealing with ISWAP. We haven't finished dealing with Boko Haram. And in all of this, the intelligence agencies, I wonder what intelligence they're actually gathering. But once, boom, there's a civil protest, they're always filled with intelligence. Now, it bears pointing out that it is the job of the police to secure Nigeria internally. It's their job. That the military is doing it is a continuing aberration. Now, first question, when was the last time the National Security Council had a meeting? It just appears as if each security agency is operating in a silo. They're not talking to themselves. They're not coordinating their activities. And then when such prolonged security operations are going on, it begs the question, are people benefiting from the continuing state of insecurity and lawlessness that pervades the land? Because now it's not limited to a particular region. Remember, we have the never-ending crisis in the Niger Delta where crude oil is continually being stolen. And there are no real efforts to get the main people behind it. They keep arresting the small fry or the farm hands. Who are the brains behind the operation? Nobody's going there. All those wonderful, sophisticated additional pipelines that were attached to original pipelines, nobody has done any serious investigation to find out where they were fabricated, who installed them, and who's running them. Now, the president last year ordered the CDS and other chiefs to go to Sokoto and stay there until the terror threat has been neutralized. Has that happened? There's one nuisance. He's a terrorist non-state actor, Bello Toji. He still has not been found.
And he's still wreaking havoc.
And when you remember the video made by a Nigerian army colonel, where he openly said Bello Turji is being protected by Nigerian security forces, it then begs the question, how difficult is it to find this guy? Now we get reports that Boko Haram use unmanned aerial drones to go over Nigerian army camps. In the past, say, month or so, they have sacked 7 super camps belonging to the Nigerian army. So Nigerian soldiers have lost their lives, they've been injured. It is truly ridiculous. Now, move forward. Boko Haram now do live shows on TikTok. You cannot beat this. They do live shows, they take questions live, they respond to the questions, in addition to their cash give-outs. Now, it begs the question, is there any serious desire to get rid of this problem? And since the current set of security chiefs cannot get the job done, how are they still in office? From the NSA down, how are they still in office? And for how long will innocent Nigerians continue to die, all in their bid to stay in office and continue to tell us that they have the situation under control? They don't have the situation under control. In Kwara State, 6 innocent Nigerians were forcefully abducted. Every day, there are stories of abductions.
But Mr. C, like I mentioned earlier, we change these security chiefs on a regular basis, even more often than people change their underwear. It's still the same thing.
Actually. We don't. If you look at their tenures, you will discover that in the past 8 or 10 years, we probably changed twice or thrice. But given the security situations we're facing, you shouldn't last 6 months if you can't get the job done, if you can't see appreciable progress.
But bearing in mind that we've seen, successive security chiefs come and go and nothing has changed, can we say this is way beyond them?
Okay, so if it is way beyond them, can we then get experts, foreign experts, to come and help them, since they can't get the job done? The thing is, the job has to be done. And it puzzles the mind that it's in this crazy brew of violence, anarchy, and lawlessness that supporters of this administration still insist foreign investors will come into this country to invest. It begs the question, how? Why would they want to do that? Ordinary Nigerians are afraid to travel by road. They're afraid to travel by train. Where are we going as a nation? And the message always starts from the top. So if the people, the rank and file, see that the guys at the top are not serious about fighting the war, what do you expect their attitude to the war to be? Remember that in some cases, they are not paid their allowances as at when due. They're not properly armed. They're not properly supplied with equipment. The questions go on and on.
So many questions.
The person who should be supervising them is nowhere to be found. At a time like this, your house is on fire, you are nowhere to be seen.
I had an answer for you about where are we going as a nation. I can't say where we're going as a nation, but as a president, we're going to London. Next story.
AB, let's talk about petroleum matters. Taking this one out of the Punch newspaper. Now, the Crude Oil Refinery Owners Association of Nigeria has projected that importers of petroleum products in the country may soon go out of business if they refuse to follow local refining trends. Now, Koran stated this as the federal government ordered the return of the Naira for crude deal despite calls for its cancellation by the Depot and Petroleum Products Marketers Association of Nigeria?
Now, we are always hearing about crude oil producers, refiners, and because petrol affects everybody's life in a direct way, it's a story that, of course, will catch the attention. I would like to go out and buy cheaper fuel than I'm buying at the current moment. That said, some of these stories sound very esoteric, and I would hopefully, on a calm day like this, make it as simple as possible. If, like I experienced at the back of your house growing up, your mother planted, actually, your mother used child labor like me to help plant tomatoes and leaves and pepper. On a lighter note, any day she wanted to cook something, she simply went to that backyard and cut a few of those herbs and came back inside, washed it, and used it. There is no way, even adding the cost of the planting and the effort made, there is no way you will compare what she spends on preparing that soup with what she would have spent if she had to leave that house, go to the market, and buy from a farmer who farmed it somewhere and transport it to the market. So, when we say naira for crude, people say crude oil is produced in international figures. That's neither here nor there. It is produced here. And I see no reason why we should be subjecting ourselves to international figures for what is produced in our quote unquote Niger Delta backyard when we don't use that same standard to insist on us having 24 hours of power like they have in those other countries that we like to point fingers at. So the refiners are saying those who are importing will soon go out of business. That's neither I cannot see the future. If not, I would have a very winning lottery ticket. But the fact remains that if we are properly marshalling this resource called crude oil in our space, and I'll end very soon, we should be able to provide it at a reasonable price for the local refiners, encourage their business, and I don't care who they are. I don't care about any names, big or small. Whoever is willing and able to refine Nigeria should get it at a very domestic, reasonable price, and thereby make the product available to us here. There is no reason why we should pay high prices for fuel that is refined inside Nigeria and used inside Nigeria. Now, when we bring that oil out and sell it, we should earn anything that is available on the international market. I'm not saying that the price of oil should go up, but for that produced and used in Nigeria, it should be at a price for us. So truly, if when you talk about investment, some people have invested so much in a logistics chain that just involves them making a call, ordering fuel, and putting it on a ship. They add no value. People who are refining are adding value to our society. So as an economic, you see, part of what's going on in the world is very interesting. All people are talking about tariffs. Nigeria is not talking about anything. In fact, as Mr. C said, some people are waiting for us to shake a hand when somebody comes back sometime after Easter. That is so. We're not having conversations about what our strategy should be as the world economic, situation is happening. We are talking about Easter. 250 of my people were murdered. It's like Jesus Christ dying on the cross. Can you imagine the preposterousness of such statements in Nigerian context today? Abegayo, all I'm saying is that if you decide that you must import fuel, then you import at your dollar cost. I am happy when we can undercut you by refining in naira costs. Your model of business should die because it's not benefiting Nigeria. On Friday, I think we talked about how some people were complaining that, as the price of international crude is getting lower, the Nigerian treasury is suffering, even though we should be benefiting. That shows that there's a disconnect between the good of the nation and the good of the people, and that is at the core of Nigeria's malaise. Right now, somebody is paying fees for a private jet to be parked in London in pounds, to be parked in London. How is it benefiting you and me? And then somebody telling me they're doing remote work. I beg you.
All right, let me take your messages this morning as we wrap it up on the show, Freshly Pressed. This is Fidelis in Shomolu, and he says, AB, thank you so much for unearthing the biblical and reasonable truth. I'm a Catholic, and I totally agree with you. Shame on that priest governor. Thank you too, Mr. C, for telling the NBC that they are pro-government in power. We don't have a government in Nigeria now, as prices of items have gone beyond our pockets, and we docilely do nothing. Happy Easter to you all. Happy Easter to you as well. Fidelis, thank you for your message. Jerry says, good morning to you, Jerry, and happy Easter to you as well. It's Mr. C and AB in the studio this morning. He says, we're just going to be sitting here and talking back and forth. Nothing will be done to all the evil happenings around this nation until we start getting our elections right and a true democracy and true presidential system of government is practiced. We're only still joking. It's so sad, and my condolences to the families of the bereaved. There's a strong conspiracy on ethnic cleansing. It has been said back and forth severally. General Sani Abacha said, if an insurgency lasts more than 2 months, the government is culpable. And he also says, where is the list of the terrorist sponsors in Nigeria? We're still asking that question, Jerry. I mean, about 3 years after, we're still asking that question. And this is a message here from Ade in Lagos. Ade says, look at the insecurity in the land. If you protest, they will quickly send the police, army, and Agberos to stop your protest. Whereas you have bandits and herdsmen killing people in Plateau, Ebonyi, Edo, Benue, and so on and so forth. You can't see such security to protect the people, but they are swift to condemn killings. That means government is complicit in all of this, and they don't have the political will because of 2027 election again. I had to summarize that one. Thank you, Adi, for your message. And okay, Tony just sent this one in. Let me just take it really quickly. He says, good governance in Nigeria was crippled long ago when corruption, tribalism, and the recently introduced tribal confraternity became toast for both military and civilian coups. Who are the coups in question? Tony, civilians have found a way to politically plot and execute coups on the people. Oh, okay, now I get what it is that you mean. All right, okay, another Tony. You all decided to, send your messages last minute. Okay, I'm in a good mood this morning. I'll take it. Tony says, like fighting a virus or like fighting bugs out of homes, like fighting terrorism and insecurity, you fight and keep advancing until you completely smoke them out. With this reactive method we adopt, we are on a long thing and we'll keep spending until we're totally spent out and the job is not done. It'll only get worse when you give a little room, and that's our situation. It's a sad state of affairs that we find ourselves in, but we will not keep talking and we won't keep having these conversations. We definitely need to keep doing that. Will our voices be heard? That is the hope at the end of the day. But like I said, we will not keep quiet. We'll keep pushing on and keep doing what we do. Thank you, Mr. C, and thank you, AB, for joining me this morning. Absolute pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you, Ayo. Sorry, thank you, Ayo. Thank you, Mr. C. It's nice to join you. I wish the stories had a better tone to them, and we truly console and condole with the families of those who have lost their lives. And all of us as Nigerians need condolences because it could be anybody. Let's not think that it's far away. It could be in your backyard tomorrow. It could be me. We don't want it to happen to one more Nigerian. Now, I've said before that the president is not the one who will ever go to the front line and fight the people, but his presence is very much needed to make those at the front line feel that they have proper support.
Thank you, Ayo. Thank you, Ayo. Thank you, AB. And this is a call to Mr. President. You are the father of the nation, and your people would love to hear from you whenever you get back into town. So just like Mr. Wiki had his media chat, come back, talk to the people, let us know where we are, especially with the end of your retreat review of your policies over the past 2 years. And let's see whether we can forge a common collective path for the next 2 years.
All right. Fingers crossed on that one, Mr. C. Okie dokes. Thank you so much for being a part of Freshly Pressed this morning. Don't go anywhere. The Smooth Breakfast continues. It's all about sporting action in the locker room at 8:15.